Just as much as these videos are made technically for my younger self, they are also a note or a checkpoint for my future self and my current self to remember as I'm working towards my goals. And so I wanted to talk about the role that showing up for yourself has in your life and other people's lives. And the first thing I wanted to ask you is, if you don't show up for yourself, who will? A lot of people, including myself in the past, have honestly just sat around and waited for something to happen that is never going to happen if they don't make it happen. Before 75 Hard, and the reason I started 75 Hard a couple years ago is because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I would tell myself I was going to get up and go to the gym, and then I wouldn't get up and go to the gym. I told myself I wouldn't eat a certain way or would eat a certain way, and then I wouldn't. And I realized that if I wanted to have the physique that I wanted, and if I wanted to have the impact that I wanted, and if I want to have the money and the success with women and all of those things that I wanted, then I had to actually show up and put in the work. It wasn't just going to fall into my lap. It will never just fall into your lap. And if somehow something does fall into your lap, it's likely it was the cause of past work or some random or not so random instance, but it's hardly ever going to come unless you actually push for it to. And that's why it's so important to remind yourself when you don't feel like doing something or you aren't doing the things you know you need to do. Let's say you take longer than you should off from the gym. Maybe you need a week off, but maybe you don't. If you take those breaks and if you continue to not do the work, then you're not going to get the result. You're not going to get something that you didn't work for. So when you show up for yourself, you're essentially stacking a building block. With your current self has this action, this habit, whatever it is, and every time you show up and complete that for yourself, you're stacking that on the person you will become in the future. And something that I think is really important to remember is that this is actually what self-love is. So there's a whole community that I don't like at all that's like the whole, it's mostly among women. It's the whole, you're beautiful like how you are, you're stunning, whatever. And usually it's just fat, ugly ogres, let's just be real. And I hate that community because they have no accountability. They actually don't love themselves. So they don't love themselves because they know they are not attractive or unintelligent or uneducated, whatever it may be. But the second reason they don't love themselves truly is because they aren't putting in that work that might be uncomfortable for their future self. They might be overweight, but they aren't eating healthy, they aren't going to the gym, and because of that, their future self is going to be in a worse position than their current self is, meaning they actually don't love their self, because if they did, they would put in that work so that their future self wouldn't have to deal with the things they're currently dealing with. If I'm currently a guy and I'm really skinny, and some may even say I'm still skinny, but if I'm a guy and I'm skinny and I'm not going to the gym, but I hate that I'm skinny, then in the future it only makes sense that I'm still going to hate myself because I'm still the same. Unless I adopt this BS, you're perfect how you are nonsense. And so if you're skinny and you don't like it, but every day, even if you're not seeing results right away or even down the road, but every day you continue to, first of all, improve what you're doing. You have to continue to improve it, because if you do the same thing over and over and you're not getting where you want to be, you do need to step back and analyze things sometimes, although you shouldn't do it prematurely and quit doing the consistent things that you're doing now because maybe you haven't given it enough time. But let's say you've been lifting for a year and eating well and you're still skinny. Okay, eat more. Pick up the fork, eat more. The weights aren't as important as you thought they were in terms of getting big. The weights obviously are important, but if your body doesn't have the nutrients, this is common sense, it's not going to grow. So eat more. But if you're doing that, then you are saying, current self, I don't like you so much, but future self, I love you enough to do what's uncomfortable here is my effort, here is my input, and in the future you can expect an output from that. Now, the other thing I want to remind you about showing up for yourself and remind myself is that when you show up for yourself every single day, you're showing up for people around you. So let's say, honestly, my channel is made for younger guys. I do have some girls on the page, and they're welcome, but this content is geared more towards young men, and like my younger self. But if you are doing what you're supposed to do every day, you're in the gym every day, you are eating correctly every day, you're working on your craft every day, people above you in life, people who are successful or have the things you want to have, money, fitness, whatever it is, they'll take notice of you. If you are going to the gym right now, in general in your life, and you think of, you're in Walmart and you see an extremely overweight person, you're probably like, because a lot of people don't truly understand how easy it is to get or maintain a good physique. Yeah, it takes time, but if you just go for an hour a day, 6 days a week, even 3 days a week, and you really train, within a year you will be a completely different person. So that's why it's hard for me to see people who are overweight and not taking care of themselves, because really it's just, don't put something in your mouth. Don't put these few bad things in your mouth. Whoa, so hard. And then lift some circles. That's how easy it is, really. Really, that's how simple it is. But imagine you see that overweight person and you're like, ugh. But in the gym, you see that overweight person and you're like, hell yeah. You have so much more respect for them because you see them showing up for themselves. And you're more likely to make a connection or go out of your way to make a connection or make a compliment to them if you see them doing that. Now, they could be doing that if you see a random person in public that's overweight, but you don't see them doing that. However, if they're in the gym every day with you, they're already in proximity to you, and you're more likely to connect. So if you're someone that is still working on your physique, keep doing it. Because those guys with a better physique, who make better money, who get more women, they're more likely to notice you being dedicated and more likely to make contact and potentially bring you into their circle of people, which is going to level up your life. And so that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Feel free to leave a comment with anything you found valuable or shoot a like my way. And I will see you guys in the next video.